Yes, it's true. It's true. I don't have to prove anything
answer
to you.
Answer question now.
What I want to say to you people
Senator,
is that
you have a right to answer the question. I'm just saying prove to me. Senator, you see, we are making arguments here.
I don't have
copious
to prove
logical
arguments. Why do I have to prove
so please prove to
you?
me, Senator, that there was so much insecurity.
Or
defend your statement that there was so much insecurity. You said it before. Defend
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Listen. I don't have to prove anything to you.
Except you comply with subsection 1 to 9. So a situation where the House of Assembly is threatening to impeach a governor, and then the House of Assembly runs into a logjam. Do you now need to help the House of Assembly by declaring a state of emergency and say the parties are quarreling? These people are now, because it is not about insecurity. That is why the National Assembly is saying they want to set up a committee to reconcile. Are you reconciling insecurity? So we all the House of Assembly, like Fubara did, which is condemnable. But a state of emergency was the president should declare a state of emergency.
Real quickly.
So how many areas are we going to government that is not democratically elected, and now you appointed a sole administrator, you are going to flout the constitution and release allocation, and so that means it's about insecurity. You take charge of the areas and find solution to the security challenges in those areas, and not take over the entire state.
Okay. Real quickly. Couple of things. I want clarification for public education. I made mention of the fact that Minister Wiki at some point when he was on had 6 lawmakers. Can you throw more light as regards? You show us with evidential proof the insecurity that is happening in Rivers State. Hope you know that the transnational pipeline that was blown up has started working again a day after. And hope you know the 2 other incidents of bombings around that area. NNPC has discarded some of them that say it was just a flare. So please, can you plot us the state of insecurity, the fighting and the killings that were happening on the road, in Rivers, in Port Harcourt, that warranted, and also the arguments on those that support the government is always that things were not fixed. But this was the same Fubara that wrote to the House and said, let's represent the budget. But the House rebuffed him and said they were going to go it alone by pushing for his impeachment. So show me the fairness in all this conversation. But let Mr. Liboros answer first, because you are always taking the front part. So please, can you answer, put those clarity as regards the things I talked about?
Briefly. Yeah,
time.
Please, thank you. You see, that's anytime there is such a constitutional crisis, whether by 2 lawmakers, 3 lawmakers, 6 lawmakers, it is for the court to deal with. Because at every given time, there are situations where you have, even off-cycle election, there are situations where a governor comes in and you have members in the State House of Assembly who are not members of his party. What he does is to woo them back to his party. In Wike's time, election was conducted for just, in some areas in Rivers State, election was not conducted because they couldn't conduct election because of insecurity in those areas. And I remember the INEC attempted to conduct those elections until this could not sit down, and the Supreme Court had helped them to resolve the issue. Do you now need to say, I believe, and I can clearly say this, that this pipeline issue was contrived. It was contrived to create this scenario and then declare state of emergency and say, oh, let the people go and settle. Is that what the constitution required?
Please talk to us about the separation of power or fusion of power. Because I think somebody was saying about
seriously, what we have here is a fusion of power. Like, and that is why somebody said that once this matter gets to the National Assembly, the current National Assembly will find any excuse to adopt and support Mr. President. So what were these insecurity issues? This insecurity, the issues, the information could have been taken at the executive session, and then the voting can be done publicly. But when this information was not taken at the, because from what we heard from some senators also, there was no information that was taken at the executive session. And this idea of kowtowing to the whims and caprices of the executive, and I am also, ashamed, because I know that's what they all do, which is what led to this fight. A governor would want the State House of Assembly to be an extension of the executive, and that is what we have taken to the national level. Before now, we used to have a vibrant House of Representatives, but unfortunately today, we don't no longer expect anything from the House of Rep, not talk of Senate.
Okay. We need to go to Senator Magnus. Please, empirically prove for us the insecurity in the states. And also confirm for us, didn't the governor make attempts to represent the budget and write to the lawmakers, but they rebuffed him? Was that a level of fairness? But prove to us the insecurity, the fighting in Rivers State that was constant, the shooting on the streets that led to this state of emergency.
Erufai.
Yes, sir.
Erufai, just calm down. I don't have to prove anything to you. Your position on this matter is known. And what I want to say to you people is that it is important. Yes, it's true. It's true. I don't have to prove anything to you.
Answer question now.
What I want to say to you people is that
you have a right to answer the question. I'm just saying prove to me. Senator, you see, we are making arguments here.
I don't have
copious
to prove
logical
anything to you. Why do I have to prove
so please
anything
prove
to
to me, Senator,
you are not
that there was
making
so much insecurity.
Or defend
your statement that there was so much insecurity. You said it before. Defend it.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Listen. I don't have to prove anything to you. The position you people have taken is known to the entire country. But all I want to say to you is that for the sake of the people of Rivers State, it is important that we have a balance. There are two sides to every coin. And it is important that both sides are represented in issues. You come here, we have an elected president. The president has information that you and I do not have. And he has told you the reasons why the state of emergency was declared is clearly set out in the speech of the president to the entire nation on that issue. You have a different opinion, but you don't have that power to overturn what the president has said. The president has presented what led him to that decision to the national... I'm coming, sir. Just allow me to talk.
Yes.
The president has presented what led him to that decision to the National Assembly, which is the body that our constitution, elected by the Nigerian people, has set up to review what the president has done. And they were unanimous in their decision to stand by what the president did. You have a right not to agree with it, but it is not proper for us to come here and begin to present a scenario, make speculations, and say things that obviously have no the path that he chose, because he was listening to people that he could not listen, he should not have listened to. Some of the people he listened to, let me take the case of a fellow governor who is one of his strongest supporters. He had the same issue in his state. In his state, when he had the issue, did he come out openly to confront his predecessor who had helped him into power? He did not. While the predecessor was fighting him, he gave him his ticket back to the Senate, but blocked his boys who were all in the SDP. They didn't have a total showdown the way he now was supporting in Rivers State. And at the end of the day, when the prize comes, it is the man who is sitting in the